Okay. Amazing. Okay, we are recording. Let me just keep letting women in. So I've got a mixed group today. I've got women that have known me for decades. I've got women that have worked with me for years. I've got women who just met me and women who have been on my list but who have never had a conversation. So I am going to talk to everyone today. That's my special talent. But I wanted to acknowledge all the different women that made it today, okay? And like I was saying before I hit record, and if everyone can mute real quick, that's great. But like I was saying, the 2 seconds on me, I've been doing this work 23 years. I'll be 52 this year. I look and feel literally this great. This isn't something I just do for the camera. I pretty much wake up this way because of this method, right, that I created, I'd say officially 10 years ago. I'd been teaching private clients for a decade. And I'm like, this is nuts, Jen. You say the same thing. Why don't you put it in a beautiful portal? Yes. And then give it to women versus I just keep repeating myself. And so, you know what? My phone is in here. Let me grab it so I can, if it ends up, I want to show you the portal. I will show you the portal. But I was looking for it on my phone. Okay. And so I'm the founder of this sugar. What happened? Where did I go? Oh, here I am. Ooh, that's a new setting on Zoom. Nice. Okay. I love that. And so, like I was saying, I've been doing this for over 2 decades. Okay. And the reason I'm talking about sleep today is because for those who know the sugar freedom method, sleeping is one of the foundational principles to kicking and managing sugar addiction. I don't think anyone ever gets over it. I think they're lying. I've managed it for decades now, but when we're not sleeping, I call it a red flag day. Okay. And I'm going to get into that because you're going to be tired and sugar's a quick energy. And if you're not utilizing the tools, for those who know what I'm talking about, I'll say a quick in the method, the 5 steps. If you're not utilizing them, you just go to sugar. You just do, right? It's just a default, it's unconscious. And so that's why I want to talk about sleep today. Not to mention something wackadoo happens. For some, it's earlier than late 40s, but late 40s, 50s, 55. That's why the mean average is about 58, 59, 60, 55. No one comes typically like no 35, not usually private clients. Yes, it's like shit hits the fan 45, 55, you're in trouble. Like 60, I have a 72-year-old. God bless you all. Um, but there are things that happen in the body and we start scrambling, right? And then don't get me started. This is not about belly fat today, but please know it's all related. When you stop sleeping, cortisol goes up, and man, belly fat just stores. Okay. And I know that because I'm not addicted to sugar. I really eat any form of it about 24 hours once a week. I have this 24-hour window I'm experimenting with. And I was like, what is all that I started to feel from stress? Okay. My dad passed away. And then, okay, Nicole, we're going to help you with that. And last year, my dad passed away. And then my husband of 23 years, God bless him, no judgment there, asked for a divorce. And I should have been a train wreck. And that's when I was like, oh shit, excuse my language, my method works. Because I look actually better single, to be honest. I look nice. We could say it's creatine. We'll talk about that another time. Ask me in the Freedom Club for those women I know who were there. Creatine like plumped me up a little, but why do I say all that? Because I know what I'm doing and I am so grateful you're here. Please share this with people. Please know there's a handout that comes with today, so don't feel like you have to write things down, okay? It's the 5 steps I promised I would deliver on. There's a handout for that. And the one thing I always say, because we can always make more money, but we don't get our time back. Memorize that. You can always make more money, but you don't get your time back. And so for today, we get off the call. You're like, wow, that chick packs a lot of energy. Yeah, I got really excited thinking about, I don't get to be the best kept secret. Okay. I get to help you all. Honestly, lengthen your life. I'll send you that, Marcia. Don't worry. It'll come with the replay. Marcia was asking about the handout. But it prolongs your life. Prolongs your life. Okay, what I'm teaching. I don't have a less serious way to say it. and it's what I was put on the planet for. So, with that said, your key takeaway, which is why I said best time and money, right? Your key takeaway, should you go, oh my God, Jen said all these things, I need you to stop blaming yourself. No, really. There's a beautiful woman, and I'll get to her questions. Okay. At the end, two women messaged me questions. And she was like, what am I doing wrong? And I was like, and the other one said the same. And I'm like, I need to address that. Okay. Half of this stuff, oh, Crystal. Okay. This is good. You all will reach out after, but let me just make sure. And Nicola. Okay. So just stop blaming yourself. And just take some of the things that I say today and implement them. And I would be remiss and not being fully transparent if I didn't say this is not a magic bullet. There's no magic bullet. Anyone who's selling you that, don't give them your money. Keep it in your pocket and say no, thank you. Okay. There's a reason why. Here's my 2-second plug, because I am opening up a trial. You'll see it for those, who are not in the club already. There's a trial I'm doing and I make it affordable because no more of this $10,000 3 months. God bless those who did that. I get it. I had all these coaches. I need you to take the things I'm teaching today and we do them, but it takes time. And I mean it with all sincerity. You didn't get where you are overnight, and you just don't get out and I've been doing what Jen said for 48 hours. Now, some of the things like the sugar addiction stuff, you should feel that in 2 or 3 days. That shit works. But you sleep. If you're in adrenal fatigue, if you are exhausted, if your cortisol's all over the place, if you're waking up at 2 a.m. and it's been a long time, I got to fix your hormones, okay? And the sugar that you're eating, and we'll talk about it in a second. I'm going to go right through the steps, but I really want you to hear this foundational work, okay? The body takes time. I'm working with a client, my private client, but she's here in the club also. And she has what I call now a fat flush. We've been together about 3-4 months. She's like, and she's in 60s. And she's like, everything is falling off now. And I'm like, exactly. It just took over 90 days. But who cares? Because she feels great and it's falling off. And yeah, some of the private coaching, I'm in her face like, hey, how's this week? How are the bowels? But why do I say that? Because it's not a magic bullet. You don't just take melatonin. It's like, I took melatonin and I stopped sleeping. Other women take melatonin and they start sleeping. I don't recommend melatonin. I'm going to get to that now. But there's no magic bullet. And so don't think today, oh, Jen's the holy grail. I would love that. Yay. But combination of everything I'm teaching today works. Okay. It works. And with that said, as I go into this, even though I do all the things for the most part that I'm about to talk about, there's 1 week out of 4. I just noticed I still have my period, right? I'll be 52 this, I still have my menstrual cycle. There's 1 week I noticed out of every month, my sleep is what's up? And then it comes back. So take that into account also for those that are still menstruating. It's not perfect, but it's great. I have energy. I'm not addicted to sugar. My weight is good, right? And so just take that today, everything I say with a grain of salt, and just know myself as well. It's not perfect. But what it's not is, oh man, I have had 7 nights or I'm up every night. Okay. It's not the case. I do these things and I dial it in quick. Yes. Makes sense. Same for sugar addiction. This weekend, if I could have eaten the house out, I would have eaten every piece of chocolate. And I almost messaged the Freedom Club members. I'll say this just real fast because it's good to know. I was going to do it, but you know what? I was with myself and I decided, why don't you just enjoy your weekend, put the phone down, keep mulching, and you'll help women in another day, right? I just took time for me, but I was like chocolate, cookies, ice cream. And I didn't want to do that on the weekend. I had this 24-hour thing I enjoy. Stress, skipping meals a little, too much in the heat, too much mulching. But you should just know, sleep was a little off, very emotional. The last holiday of all the holidays right now of me being single, right? My husband asked for a divorce this month, a year ago. So I had an emotional piece exhaustion, mulching, not enough. I had all the things. Okay. So why do I say that? Because I'm a human too. Did I eat any of it? No, because I enjoyed my Thursday into Friday and I teach this. I'm fucking out of it. Oh, I just did the things I'm going to teach today. It's gone. Okay. And I'm intact and I'm happy. And so is that helpful just to hear? And you walk away and you don't blame yourself. But you got to take some action once you learn what's going on. You got to take action. Okay. Information's only as good as the person who uses it. Yes? Okay, good. So I'm going to have a sip and we're going to start. Does anyone have a question or a thought they want to share? And then I'm going to start. It'll give me a second to sip. No? I'm grateful you're here. Okay, you all are always so shy. It's okay. I know you're not shy in your life, just on camera. Okay. Here we are. Education. I love it. Step 5. We got 5 steps. Oh, PCOS and perimenopause. Sally, come talk to me after this. Listen, I was not offering private sessions after this, but I always make things up on the spot. Sally, I made a note. You're welcome to talk to me. I'll give you a 15-minute call, all right? Or if you end up joining the Freedom Club, I don't think a Sally is in our club. I don't think so. I know most of you by name. We could talk. It's related. You've got inflammation there, okay? It's all related. It's a hormonal imbalance. It's a lot of things, but just take a mental note on that, and I will offer you some time if you want it. Okay? I will offer you some time. Okay, with that said, I kid you not, the first thing, I know you're going to be like, she didn't just say this, but I am going to say it because it's so simple. Sugar destabilizes your blood sugar levels. And so I need you to just keep in mind, I kid you not, like take your blood, like the sugar that's sitting in your bloodstream. I like doing visuals because you remember things when I show you visuals, okay? When I talk about the pancreas, and the pancreas is angry with type 2 diabetes, I'll never forget it. This woman is still a private client of mine, on and off. I like middle fingered the whole crowd at the YMCA, second year of doing this work in 2006. I was like, this is what the pancreas does. It's saying when you have type 2 diabetes, it says, F you, I'm tired, and I'm not giving any more insulin out. It's literally what type 2 diabetes is. Why? Because you've abused the pancreas, and now it's mad. And so when you see the thing like this with the bloodstream, I need you to think about when you're eating stuff, yes, how quickly is it turning to sugar? Okay, Tamara, noted. Get your butt in the club. I want to see you, Tamara. All right, I need to help you all. It's just too easy to fix. Ask the women who are on the call, who are in the club. It's just too easy and too affordable. So we'll get you in next. But back to what I'm saying. I need you to think about your blood. I do. When you're eating things, and there's no judgment, but things that turn to sugar quick, or just a lot of sugar in your coffee in the morning, or you're just eating yogurt, ladies, no judgment, it's for another day. But yogurt with berries, I get that one a lot. Or you're like, oh, I like orange juice in the morning. This stuff is sugar. And what it's doing is it's raising your levels of sugar in your blood really high. And that's what happens at 3 o'clock. You're like, oh God, I gotta have stuff. Okay. It's because you're not eating things. Look, I'm a biochemist, if you didn't know, right? I went to medical school. I'll just throw that in quick. And I love to teach, and I'm Italian, Sicilian, so I always use my hands, right? I always use my hands. And so blood sugar levels, you kind of want them like this, right? Like this. You don't want them high and then low and then high and then low. And what happens is women don't realize you're doing that. Oh, your smoothie in the morning. I typically have protein, and I put peanut butter. Peanut butter does not affect me anymore, but it does for a lot of women. Some peanut butter, some matcha, water. I do water. A little bit of banana, but I was on the Stairmaster. I did a little bit of lifting and stretching. And so my body needs some sugar right now, but I've got protein in there. And so I can feel I'm stabilizing, but you all don't stabilize. And I am not judging coffee first thing in the morning. Okay. The sugar freedom method doesn't take anything away, but you got to understand, if you're not eating breakfast within an hour to 90 minutes of waking, and you're doing the coffee or the juice or the matcha or whatever you're doing, You're spiking your blood sugar levels, okay? Now, how does that relate to sleep? How much time you got? When you spike your blood sugar high and then low, and then you eat lunch and like, no judgment, but I'm gonna eat some chips with lunch. I'm just gonna have a salad, a little bit of chicken or soup. I get that one a lot, soup, or so cute, or a salad. Maybe I put protein, maybe not. The worst of it all for your blood sugar levels is when like, oh, I skipped lunch. I'm like, oh dear God, here we go. You all never sleep when you skip lunch. And then you cannot get your hands out of the cupboard after dinner. And you could forget about sleep. You're up. You can sleep. Tell me, you can fall asleep, but you're not staying asleep. Why? Because your beautiful sugars in your blood, are you seeing the visual? You need to feed yourself. Don't get me started on calories and losing weight, because I look super fine for almost 52 and I don't diet. I have movement every day, but I don't crush it. I don't crush anything. I just do things, but I stabilize my blood sugar, okay? Which gets me to sleep at night. And when you sleep at night, you burn fat. Can you see how it's kind of cool? Because I do weight loss for women who join the Freedom Club and they want to get rid of belly fat and they want to sleep more and feel good and get rid of this addiction. But it's all a marriage, what I teach. Nothing is separate from something else, okay? It all goes together. I fix your sleep, I fix your weight. I fix your weight, I fix your sleep. I fix your sleep, I can start to fix your sugar addiction, right? I fix your gut health and your belly bloat, and I fix your weight. And it also fixes your anxiety. And so I'll do anxiety another day. That's my favorite, all right? Because I used to think I couldn't make it past 8th grade with how anxious I was. And I can't even access anxiety anymore. And so I may do that one next. I might make that a Freedom Club. You know what? We might do anxiety. Next month is not anxiety in the Freedom Club, okay? It's specifically addiction. I want to really nail down sugar addiction, but anxiety might be July. Okay, so why did I say all that? Because is it making sense? You can't skip meals for calories, okay? If you have too little calories, you're crushing metabolism anyway. It's affecting your blood sugar levels. Does that feel easy? It's my first time teaching it this way. So does that feel like, okay, Jen, don't skip meals. Jen, put protein in. I don't care what it is. Okay, I got 3 kids. I'm single. They live with me 100% of the time. I'm running to things. Joe's doing the best he can. I'm eating meat sticks, people. I'm eating meat sticks sometimes. I like them. They're called chomps. Landon's going to talk about them next month in the club. I've eaten 2 meat sticks and an apple. I'm like, well, that's lunch, and I'm drinking water. I kid you not. There's no judgment, because I know the meat sticks are like 19 grams of protein, which is great, or 15. And I like the apple because it's got fiber and it's low in sugar, especially the green apples, okay? And so I know I kind of hit all the bases. Now, do I do that all the time? No, not even once a month, but you'll never, ever, ever, ever see me, okay, not ever skip a meal, because I'm a recovering sugar addict and I don't want to deal with the crap that ensues later. Makes sense? And so let's do that. Someone asked a question. I'm going to answer it. I got the PCOS, Sally. Intermittent fasting. Nicola, I don't know you well enough yet. Intermittent fasting is okay after I fix your sugar addiction and your sleep. And most women don't know how to intermittent fast. They kind of do it, but they don't do it, right? And then you do it, but then you're binging. And the body never has time to get into any sort of ketogenic state, okay, which is where it's using its fat source to do it. So for me, if you're not sleeping well, belly fat, wicked cravings, low energy, there is no way, and depending on there's no way you're intermittent fasting in the beginning. You're not doing it. Does that make, do you see my logic? I got to get you to sleep. I got to balance your blood sugar levels, okay? Yeah, okay, good. Oh, people who are, everyone's different. I find most people don't intermittent fast properly. I meet women on the golf course, they just don't look healthy. I'm like, oh God, but you don't look healthy. So I don't care if someone said for you to do it. How do you look? I look healthy. My legs are healthy. I am healthy. I'm not on any meds, knock on wood. No more food sensitivities. I don't bloat, right? And so intermittent fasting doesn't really have a place until I get to know you. And then, yes, we can absolutely between dinner and breakfast. So Tamara, I'm definitely going to talk to you. because I'm concerned about type 2 diabetes. But I'm making notes, so don't worry. 15-minute call for PCOS. So with that said, let me just keep going. So I need you to just start prioritizing that. And here's the thing. You're not allowed to say, I don't have the time. And I'm going to get really like hard on you with love. Because if you honestly saw my life, I had an 8:30 call today, and this isn't, I'm better than anyone. I just call bullshit. Okay. Because I am the hub of my family and I prioritize myself. If it means I have to get up a little earlier, or I make sure my butt is in bed by 9:30, even though I wanted to watch the end of We Are the World documentary on Netflix. What a beautiful documentary about helping Africa. I was like, go to bed, Jen. I wanted to watch the end. It's a long story, but I'm into these documentaries lately of just humanity and helping I'm gonna go to bed. Why? Because I know I need to get up in the morning. I give one kid breakfast, the other two do their thing, thank God. But who the hell knows? They're out of school. I had an 8:30 private. I had a 9 o'clock team meeting. And I do have a morning routine, which I'm not going to talk about. I'm going to talk about nighttime routine today. But I was not compromising my morning. Nicola, oh my God, let me help you. Like 2 or 3 a.m. Girl, we got hormone issues. We've got weight challenges. We've got things, okay? And why? Because the liver detoxifies the body between 2 and 3 a.m. It burns fat if you're not drinking a lot of wine and alcohol. If you're doing that, the liver's got to get the alcohol out between 2 and 3, and it ain't burning jack. So that's a freebie on the side for those who drink wine, no judgment. But the liver's got to do its thing, and it does it between, I think, 1 and 3 a.m. So why did I say all that? Because I have really talked through, and I repeat myself a lot. And I repeat myself a lot because most women, you don't need tons of more things. That's why the sugar freedom method, I call it simple fun. Simple fun. Why? Because you need to then implement it. Okay, you don't need to know every single fat and macro. And no, I just need you to eat. I need you to start thinking about what the food is doing in your body. I need you to start eating protein. Okay, protein and fat do not spike blood sugar levels. Proteins and fats. Refined carbohydrates do, and of course, junk food and sugar. So if you're gonna do that stuff, you better pair it with some fats and some protein. Did you hear that? That's my little secret. Okay? Got to pair it because we got to think about what? Number one, our blood sugar levels. Why? Because I told you, you are not sleeping at night if you don't stabilize your blood sugar. Now, that's going to take a few days. That doesn't just happen. So for those who are not in the club and aren't working with me consistently, you got to give it time. I don't know if you're insulin resistant. A lot of women are insulin resistant. And by that, I mean, you're storing pretty much everything you're eating. We can undo that. We can. But you got to give me a few weeks. You got to give me 30 days. You got to give us some time, stabilize your blood sugar. Okay. So I don't want that baby with the bathwater. That's weird. But that saying, don't throw out, because if you listen to some of the things, killing two birds with one stone, why am I killing birds? These are weird sayings, but you know what I mean with baby with bathwater. You know what I mean. And so don't throw out what I'm saying because, it didn't work. And I'm not. No, it takes time. Okay. It takes time, but it works. I know because when I screw around, I'm like, I'm not going to eat much lunch. And I can feel I'm really low. I'm like, I'm not sleeping tonight. And I don't sleep well. And it's my fault. That is my fault because I know. But don't do that. So that's number one. I need you to start getting really serious. Okay. Number two, this one, you're either going to like me or you're not. But the truth is, if you have sugar first thing in the morning or when you have sugar, you got to know it takes a few days to get out of your system. So when I said I eat it, I kind of like this new thing. I just eat whole foods 95% of the time. I'm experimenting, so don't follow me. And I have this 24-hour window. There's something I want. I think I'm getting rid of it altogether, but I share it because when you have sugar, you are going to crave it the rest of the day, and you're going to crave it the next day and the day after. I find it takes 2 to 3 days. So that's just real. That's just real. So when it's like I wrote here, dialing back the sugar, you have to know when you have it. My kids know too. I'm like, I'm in for it tomorrow. So I have it knowing that it's not like, why do I crave it tomorrow? Because it's an addiction. Because I based my whole life on this. So you just got to get real with yourself. If you're going to have it, you just know you're screwed tomorrow. And if you're not in the Freedom Club, get your butt in so I can teach you how to dial it back and have it for a day or two. And it's not consuming you, but you got to know once it hits your tongue, and no judgment. But women say, oh, I love my coffee, my sugar. It's no judgment, but you got to know 3 o'clock, oh, I have to have it. And then after dinner, and then the next day, and you're in this vicious cycle. And I know you're going to know, I know you know I'm going to tie this to sleeping. You don't sleep well with sugar. I wrote a whole bunch of stuff because I didn't memorize it. But do you know sugar interferes with the production of melatonin and it inflames the nervous system? It's a true story. I don't drink anymore, but I used to drink tequila once in a while, but I don't even do that anymore. But I used to like wine. I would have a personality rewrite. Like I didn't know who I was the next day. I just was anxious 24/7 all day. And I'm like, this one glass of wine is not worth me feeling like I don't even know who I am the next day. And I believe it's partially because sugar inflames the nervous system. And so please know that, oh, why am I not sleeping? It doesn't mean never have it. Trust me, I experiment with that 1 day a week. Oh, Nicola, I'm warming up with you. But I didn't know, she was saying she didn't know about the connection. That's why I'm teaching it today, because it's really good to know. The next step is for everyone, right? Is, well, then how do I not crave it? And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that now. I have ideas for it. But please know it's a whole method. But you got to know and you got to be responsible when you eat it. You just got to know the next day it's not your fault. It's like, oh, there it is. Because it is an addiction. And what Jen says is real. And it lights up the dopamine center, right? And you get this hit, and then you just want to keep repeating it. And so, and I put here, every sugar hit spikes your insulin. Insulin crashes your blood sugar levels. Blood sugar crashes trigger cortisol. Cortisol at night equals you don't sleep. I mean, it's a whole cycle. Cycle runs all day, and it peaks at bedtime. And willpower fails, yeah, because the craving is biological. It's not even emotional at that point. And so, what are you taking from this? To start being conscious of what you're putting in your mouth and how it's affecting your sleep. And there is a relationship. I mean, it's a direct relationship. I'm going to smile because I'm like, why do I still do it? Because I'm a human and I'm working through what I want to do. If I fully want to be off, my method does not teach get off sugar forever. There's other people's programs. No, mine is more of a lifestyle change and fixing your gut and sleep. But I sleep the worst the night I'm like, I'm gonna have a little ice cream and a couple of my favorite goody girl cookies. I gotta sleep the worst. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a shit night of sleep. I know. So what's wonderful is I've isolated it from me. I do all these other things right. And I'm like, it's not terrible, but it's not sound. And so please start correlating that. And what else did I want to say about that? So the other thing I wanted to say, and it's here in the handout, be conscious of the first bite of sugar. And then the other thing is like, because you have an action step for each step so that when you walk away, you're like, oh, great, I've got some stuff. The action step is I need you to have a glass of water. Let's have a glass of water before you have your coffee, before 3 o'clock. You're like, oh, I want chips, or just need that yogurt, or I'm just going to eat a bar. Just total garbage, by the way. There's no bars I promote. And so, yeah, let's talk about the stevia and the almond cream. Your almond creamer, yeah. I don't know who that Zoom user is. You're adorable, but put your name in, ZU. And glass of water, okay? Dehydration causes cravings. Dehydration causes a million things, okay? The body's 80+ % water, even though, oh, that was Angie? I'm sorry. You came up as ZU. Angie, you're getting better, and you're in the club, so I love you. And Nicole, I love you guys can ask me this way. It's helpful. Stevia, depends on the person for stevia. I'm not a fan. I think it causes cravings the way monk fruit does. And there's the erythritols are the worst. Do your research. They mess with your belly. Yeah. Allulose is just as much garbage. My job, and I know I can't do it all on this call, my job is to teach you, not to be me, although I think it's pretty cool, how addicted I was, like pints of ice cream addicted. Like not one Oreo, it was 14, and I couldn't not eat it because it would call me from the cabinet and it wouldn't shut up until I ate them. And so I didn't have a choice at that time because it was like it doesn't shut up. So I had to do it, and I don't have any of that anymore. And so why did I say that? Because all those things are, you're on the Titanic for those, right? Titanic, and you're plugging holes with stevia and allulose and monk fruit. You're plugging holes, but the ship is still sinking. Okay, ship is still sinking, and so I don't want your ship sinking. I want you to not crave that stuff as an alternative and mask the underlying issues. Okay, so with that said, you're going to drink the water and you're just going to start noticing the amount of sugar. Go ahead. Kara, you could ask me a question if it pertains to this, and then I'll get to step 3. Go right ahead.
More of a comment because obviously I've worked with you, and I think sometimes when we're asking about substitutes, it's because we can't imagine our life without our coping mechanisms. And that's the biggest thing that the freedom method does is it's sure freedom from sugar, but ultimately it's freedom from coping mechanisms. And because so many of our coping mechanisms are sweet, what Jen taught me was how to embrace the sweetness of life, where you actually don't like, because people often ask like, oh, you don't have gluten or you don't have sugar, like what do you eat? And I'm like, food that nourishes my body, because I have too much to do to feel like crap. Like, I'm in love with my life, I don't need to love food. And that's the biggest shift, is like, because I used to think that like, what will I substitute, and it's like, there's no substitution. The only substitution is falling in love with your life, and for whatever it's worth, Jen, like I think that's what you teach. And so, because once again, like I used to get really wrapped up in like, what will I substitute? And really, when you fully embrace it, you don't need one. You don't need a substitute, because you just want to fuel yourself with what makes you feel incredible. And nothing tastes as good as feeling great. So that's for whatever that's worth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to market that. I'm going to take that snippet. I'm going to go put that somewhere. Figure that is really beautiful, Kara. And it is true. And it is module 5 of the Sugar Freedom Method. Because I noticed when I was doing all the other things that I'm teaching here and people teach in courses, I was like, why do I always tend to go back to the sugar? Why does people do well for a few weeks and then they go back? All right. And I don't like go back. There's no going back anymore. Once your eyes are open and you learn the method, right? You don't like go back and you still eat it once in a while, but you don't ever like, you're lost. And that's because module 5 is how to love your life more. And so a lot of getting past sugar addiction is not just what I'm teaching today, biophysical, biochemistry and physiological. It's, you got to friggin' look at your life and you got to love it more. And the things you don't love, fix them. I'm about to pull some bushes out. My son's like, you know what, Mom? Those bushes are the bane of my existence. He drives by them in his car. It's just, they're dead. They're overgrown. Blah. I'm like, I'm pulling them out. I'm getting a quote later. And why did I say that? Because I've been working on the house. I just feel light. Because your environment, I teach in module 5, and I won't go off on this, but just know your environment affects. Okay, your environment affects your cravings. I just want to mute so everyone can, just mute everyone. Your environment affects you. It's like, what is, so if you're in a toxic environment or narcissistic or lonely, bored, don't love your career, no judgment, your partner, or you've got things about, you got to look at stuff. If not, it's the Botox, it's the, I don't know, the Ozempic. It's all these shortcuts that don't work because you all come see me after the gastric bypass and the Ozempic. I know, because I'm like, oh, okay, I'll take you. Let's talk. It's going to take you some time because of those other things, no judgment, but gosh, thank you. So Kara, yes, what she said, yes. And I went to the movies. I saw Michael last night. You guys got to see Michael Jackson. I've been crying since yesterday, but why did I say it? Because I had popcorn. I don't have anything, but I knew I was like, oh shit, I must spike my blood sugar because popcorn is very high on the glycemic index, FYI. But I came home and I ate my protein. I was like, well, that was my gross carbohydrate. I didn't even want the whole bag. First time I was by myself too. I was like, but I need you to know that I ate it going, I know I'm spiking, and God knows movie popcorn, but I wanted it by myself. I'm like, this will be fun. I got a little bag, like $10. I don't know where the hell that's going, but a little bag. But I want you to know I came home and I told myself, I had a great sleep, by the way, but I said, you did some spiking. It was within 2 hours. I might go home and eat. So I had my meatballs on the stove and some zucchini. It was a very Italian night. but I ate just that. A cup of tea, watched stuff with the kids, went to bed, slept well. Can you see how I was thinking there? I didn't come home and go, I'm going to eat some pasta with dinner. Gun to my head. I just had the popcorn. Now I'm going to do the pasta. I'm looking for a really bad night. Got it? See how I'm thinking? And it's not a diet. I wasn't cutting calories. I just knew I needed like a lot of protein and some veggies. And I did that. And I was like, and I slept. Okay. So with that said, step 3. This is for the sleeping piece. Probably a lot of women do magnesium, but I had to say it. Most women are magnesium deficient and they don't know it, okay? And it's essential for sleep. It's essential for sleep. And if you didn't know it, super stressed out, I don't know anyone that like, oh, my life is, even then you have mental stress. But magnesium helps you sleep. Did I just say that? I might have just said that. Oh, forgive me. Stress eats away at magnesium. That's what I wanted to say. Stress burns up your magnesium, okay? And so you got to just replace it. I don't know anyone that when I do these, hair analysis tests, I can do them whenever I send them to a lab. No one's like, oh my God, your magnesium is fabulous. Like, oh shit, take magnesium. It's a trend in women in midlife. And so I just wanted to say magnesium glycinate is the proper one, and you take it every night, okay? And the beauty with magnesium glycinate is that it's soluble. And by that, I mean, you'll get the runs. You can't like poison yourself, okay, the way you can with vitamin A and vitamin D. Be very careful with things like that, okay? You could overdose. And so I was going to say it between 3 and 500, okay, Sally, 3 and 500. And so it's about 3 and 500. If you start getting the runs, I mean, a lot of women have a lot of, right, causes the runs. So, Tamara, yes, type 2. I want to talk to you, okay? Find me or get to the replay 15 minutes. I want to talk to you as well. You could be taking too much, Tamara. And I'm going to follow up with, I want you to, you could take a lotion. Oh, the lotion's so good because it bypasses your digestive system. True story. And so for those who have weak digestion, a lot of women, till they come see me, module 6 of the method, okay, is gut health. All right. Your gut's a mess. You're not absorbing properly. It's for another day. But why did I say that? Because when you take the lotion, okay, it goes into your bloodstream. Yay. And so I put it on my feet at night. I'm going to put it in the notes. I didn't make a note on that, but I'm going to show you the one I like. You want to get it from us, great. You get a discount. You don't want to, great. I don't buy anything off Amazon or that garbage because I've done it and I can't trust it. So this comes from the manufacturers and you get a discount. It's cool, but it's called Trace Minerals. I think it's called that, Trace Elements. Anyway, I will show you the one I like. And you just put it on your feet, put it on with some socks. Your feet feel nice in the morning. It doesn't matter how much you're getting, Christy. I just do it. I don't count that. I just know when I put it on my feet and I lap it on, I feel good. I do. And maybe you dial back your glycinate if you get the runs. I'm not really too technical that way. I just need you all to start sleeping. So keep that in mind. Okay. So magnesium. It aids in the production of melatonin. Hey, whereas sugar takes away from the production of melatonin. Problem. Okay. The other thing I wrote, and it really does do this. So please take it at night. Calms your muscles, calms you down. If you didn't know that, I always take it at night because I get sleepy instead of taking it after dinner. And I'm like, kids like, why can't you get through the movie? And I'm like, oh shit, because I took the magnesium at 5 o'clock. Their mother. So now I take it at 8 and then I go to bed by 9:30. It's perfect. And so keep that in mind. Okay. It relaxes you. And I'm going to throw it in there, although it's not exactly in the notes, but it's really fun. It's not in the notes, but memorize this. A lot of times, especially in the beginning of me working with women, chocolate cravings, chocolate cravings. It's ridiculous to think that there's a little bit of magnesium in chocolate. It's crazy to think, but the truth is there is. And I swear, you watch if you start taking magnesium. Tell me if you crave chocolate different. It's worked. Is it perfect? No, because chocolate's an addiction. If it's milk chocolate, Tamara does dark chocolate, which is still, you'll find, mostly garbage. Tamara, I got so much to teach you, but why did I say that? Because I have found women who have to have chocolate. I'm like, you probably have to have magnesium because sometimes the body doesn't know better, but it's so smart. Like when you're pregnant, right? And you crave that one thing. I always tell pregnant women, eat it. I mean, if it's a bar of chocolate, don't do that. But I mean, eat the cabbage, eat the bananas, maybe you're low in potassium. I find whatever we're craving when we're pregnant, the body knows the baby needs it. It's a true story. So I'm like, oh, and like cabbage is a great example. Like, I don't know, you want barley? Okay, you never eat barley? Eat it. Never question the body. The body is smarter than us. So the problem with the chocolate is shit. I can't have you eating all that crappy chocolate. You know, dark chocolate is not good. None of it's pretty good. So anyway, magnesium, 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 magnesium. And I wrote in here because I didn't memorize this. Magnesium regulates the nervous system, helps the brain switch from alert to calm. Okay, and it does. I said magnesium depletes faster due to stress and hormonal changes. And without enough magnesium, the brain can't produce enough melatonin, which is absolutely nuts. Now, some sweet woman I was talking and I didn't want to, but someone hasn't slept in years. I made a note on that. Who was that? I don't sleep for years. Can I please help you? I can guarantee I'll get you to sleep. Nicole came back. Okay, I don't know who that was, but dear God, someone said I haven't slept in a very long time. I fixed that. It's literally like the buck stops with me. I do. I don't even pretend like I don't know what I'm doing. There's like guarantees in the Freedom Club. I just don't play around. Oh, that was Angie. That was you until menopause. Terrible sleep. Oh, you sleep great now. Oh, that's great. Okay, good. She's sleeping better for many reasons, but I love that. I know partially the yogurt, but many things. Okay. Number 4, just so we keep time for hot seats. And if I have to go over, do I have anyone right after this? Forgive me. Today's been a day. No. So if we have to go over, I will honor that time. Okay, number 4. I mean, you could get angry, but you get angry. I mean, my job is for you not to like me. It's literally for me to help you and save your life. I can't find a better way to say it. And you need a nighttime routine. And so I used to think, the way I eat now, and I'm disciplined with working out, and I have a morning routine. I like it. It's quick stuff. I used to think, so rigid back in the day, where I'd see people working out. Oh, they're so rigid. And I would like reject that. I want you to memorize that in a routine, you find freedom. Just memorize that because you all want freedom. And that's why I am the creator of the Freedom Club and the Sugar Freedom Method. I specifically name them that because I am a fan of freedom. Okay. I'm a fan of freedom of speech. I'm a fan of freedom of thinking. Okay. I'm a fan of freedom from sugar. You can have it. You don't have to have it. I'm a fan of freedom. And so freedom comes from routines. Memorize that. Freedom comes from routines. I never worry about weight gain or any of these things because my routines keep me healthy, keep my hormones balanced. So you need a nighttime routine. This is where you're all going to be like, what? Because I'm going to talk about phone addiction. Let me have a sip of my protein shake. This is real. I know because I'm breaking mine. This is the last frontier for me. Phone addiction. I'm breaking it. I am. Not as bad as sugar was, but it's pretty bad when I'm like, oh, let's all talk about how many pickups we had today. And I could say, oh, in case my private clients, but I call bullshit on myself. We get a hit every time we pick up. And so why did I say that about the phone? Because not only is it an addiction and I don't like anything controlling me. I don't know. Nothing gets to control me. But you got to know the EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies on these 5G. I'm going to curse mother effers. I was so mad. Why do I need 5G? Can I have 3G? I don't need 5 now. 5 is like, what are we doing? Why did I say it? Because this shit has you not sleep at night. So you could be eating the way Jen says, and then you're taking the magnesium, and you're exercising, and you gratitude, and you read the Bible. You do all these things. Then at night, you're like doom scrolling. I'm going to teach you what I do around this because I don't doom scroll anymore. I broke that one. The pickups are a problem, but I don't doom scroll ever. No doom scrolling. I'll teach you that in a second. But the EMFs are killing us. And I tell my children this. I'm like, look, not only is it not good for your brain and do something with your life. I don't want you to look back and be like, oh my God, the last 5 years of my life, I know every TikTok video. Like, what are you doing? But I will say it affects your eyes. So I'm worried, right? They're an experiment with their eyes, okay? Our eyes are not meant to be on a screen. And, me, I'm 52. I started looking at this thing in the, late 90s. But other people, kids, I actually have tears in the supermarket. I have to walk away. When there's a 2-year-old and they're looking at a screen, I actually start to cry. I do. I have to walk away. It's that emotional for me. Because I'm like, if you're 2, I don't know if you're blind by 30, but they're experimenting with kids with their eyesight. Okay. Because if you read up on it, our eyes were not meant to be on a screen. So why did I say that? Because the EMFs on your phone and the blue light suppress melatonin production. So what's beautiful is if you want to sleep, get rid of the belly fat and have nice arms and not have anxiety. Like you got to work on yourself. The way, Kara was saying, love your life. You got to work on yourself. You got to break these other things to sleep. It's not just a pill. I'll come full circle. I had told you, yes, it's not just a pill. There isn't a quick fix. Does it work? Hell yeah. But it takes time. And it takes knowing the sequence. And I'm going to throw it out there because it takes support. And getting on my little school community app and being like, hey, Jen, slept great. No, I didn't. And you ask questions. So it's not just you're guessing. Okay. I don't want that. So with that said, that's number 1. Stop scrolling. Also, really important, I think you know this, but bright lights keep you awake. So you got to dim things at night. Tamara cannot wait to talk to you. Got so much. Tamara's like, I'm on my Kindle. I got you. But I need you to dim the lights at night. Dim them. Magnesium lotion I talked about. I stopped checking things. I know that's hard for some women, but I'm like, it's going to be okay, Jen. It's 8:00. Shut it off. Shut it off. And then I just put it on the charger, give it up to God till the morning. Like, unless the kid is out, not gonna lie. If my kids are not home, my son's out. He had a lot of grad parties and stuff, for high school. And he doesn't drink, but I did. I was like, shit, 5Gs are on my nightstand. But I did it. And as soon as he got home, I was like, shut the phone off, 10:40. I shut it, right? But you don't want, very important. I don't think that's in the notes. Please do not, my little sweet boy. Please don't charge your phone anywhere near you. I don't care about this 5 feet rule. My charger, Inksnay. And if it is, my phone is off. Okay, please don't do that stuff. I don't want that 5G near you. I don't want that near you. Okay, I have a healer I use. She's like, oh, you got a lot of, EMFs on you. I'm like, shit, do I? It's real. Okay, the stuff is real just because we can't see it. Just like we can't see God, that's real, right? Can't see radio waves, they're real. Well, just because you can't see this doesn't mean it's not real. And so don't put it anywhere near your breast. Please don't put it in your pocket. Don't put it in your front pocket. Like, just get it off of you. Okay? It's really important. That was I went a little too far, but I didn't, because the phone makes me nuts. And so, before I move on to step 5, okay, so you need a nighttime routine. You figure out what works for you. You could do a cup of nighty-night tea, but you cannot go skidding into bed backwards. Couple of more emails the nights I do that, like, I got to get back to clients. I do not sleep well because I'm telling you, I don't, because I woke myself up. And it messes with you. Okay, it messes with your melatonin production. The thing I want to say about the doom scrolling, it's up to you. There's no judgment. I just feel, since the divorce, I feel this urgency on like life matters. And every time I wake up every day, I'm like, thanks God, I'm awake another day. Like I've taken gratitude to that level of I'm awake. Yes, Nicola, let's get that away from his head. But my son is similar, and give it up to God around charging near the head. But back to what I was going to say real quick. I just got very conscious. The way in step 2, I told you to be very conscious of the sugar that you put on your tongue first thing in the morning, right? Or all day long, how it's going to impact you for days. Don't just think, 2 teaspoons of sugar. Psh, I'll be a junkie all day with 2 teaspoons of sugar. I do not start with that. I've got water. I've got some matcha, no sugar in it. It's a little oat milk. It's literally oats. Oats spikes me a little, but there's no sugar. Matcha, green tea. And I do 3 eggs cooked in butter. I love butter. 3 eggs cooked in butter with sometimes a whole avocado. That's like Jen Eden's breakfast. Like really. And I'm like, and then I'm all fired up, right? Because I'm not spiking anything. I'm not spiking. Don't spike things. Feel really good all day when I nail breakfast. And why did I say that? Because the doom scrolling. Really quick on the doom scrolling. The way I told you to be conscious of the sugar on the tongue and whatnot. I am very conscious when I pick up this phone now or when I get on Instagram or Facebook. I'm conscious the way I am always conscious about what goes in my mouth. That's just something I've trained myself on. I don't ever just drop something in. Is it a meal? Is it food? Do I want it? I'm very conscious. Not for weight, although I love how I look and I never have to worry because I live an intentional life. I live an intentional life. I do things with intention. The phone, now I'm like, why are you on? That's what I tell myself. Well, that's how I talk to myself. Well, is it entertaining today? Is this good to hear how I think? Because this stuff works. Someone give me a nod because I feel silly. Okay, good. I go like this. You've picked it up the way if you're going to eat sugar, I'm very intentional about those 5 Goody Girl cookies. They're Girl Scout cookies, by the way. I'm not promoting them, but they're Girl Scout cookies without all the garbage, but they're still sugar and they're gluten-free. And they just don't have all the crap because Girl Scout cookies will kill you. So this is still sugar, but they're Goody Girl cookies. So I get to have like a Girl Scout cookie, but I am intentionally eating 5. Okay, tomorrow. I just said, why do I say? Because I'm intentional. So I'm intentional with this. And if I'm on Instagram, I'm like, why am I on? That's what I'll say. As I'm on, are you posting something? Oh, my best friend. And then you start to scroll and I go, nope. And I check my times. I'm like, cool, under 5 minutes a day for Facebook and Instagram. Because the kids and I, we check us like how 10 hours, and my daughter got screamed at. I apologized. Took a lot, but I took my eye off her, right? Because I was working and the whole single parent BS. So we had a whole convo about 10 hours is not okay. So why did I say that? So just be conscious. Just be conscious. The way I teach in the sugar freedom method, be conscious, intentional, conscious. And set an alarm. If you're that bad at it, I like the iPhone. There's something on the iPhone. It'll be like timer. Do it. Set a 5-minute timer, hit start, and watch the mother tick down. And then it'll go, and you'll be like, oh shit, that was 5 minutes of my life I won't get back. Okay? And I think of it that way too. Like, it's 5 minutes of my life I'm not going to get back. And so start rewiring doom scrolling. Okay, last but not least. This is like right with what Kara was saying. Hey, this is the personal growth. And this is where Nicola, call me. Nicola's got 10 hours on things. We'll work on you, sister, should you want the help, because I value my life, and I value the time. And so why did I say that? Because step 5 is personal growth. But personal growth is good because I truly believe if we're not growing, we're dying. It's like a flower. We're growing, right? You're either growing or you're dying. So I choose to grow. And so I need you to deal with what's on your mind. I wrote that. That's step 5. Why? Because when I had a lot of turmoil in the marriage, I didn't sleep for a whole month. Now I was doing all the other things because I wasn't eating the sugar. I was pretty impressed, but I didn't sleep for a whole month. And I was like, so this one came from Janetta not sleeping for 30 days. And I was like, what's up? I'm doing all the things. And I was like, big pink elephant in the room. Oh, I'm not dealing with that thing that's on my mind. And so if you've got, I don't know why this came to me, but it just came to me, loss of a child, loss of a relative, loss of a spouse, loss of a sibling. If you've got grief, if you've got worry, if you've got aging parents, if you've got a stressful job, if you've got a kid with, I've got clients and kids have mental illness, challenges. I've seen everything, my friends, in 23 years. People are like, are you a therapist? I'm like, no, but I've had clients tell me sessions with me, I might have a tear, they're better than 10 years with my therapist. And I just think it's because I listen, because I'm a blank slate when you come. I have no preconceived notions. And I genuinely care about people, and God put me on the planet for that. So why did I say that? Because you got to deal with that stuff. I didn't sleep most of this month. It's much better now, but I couldn't, why am I not sleeping? So weird. Or at least, is it a week or 2? It was weird. I was doing all the things. And I wrote this last one based on that. It's like a year ago, my husband asked for a divorce at this time. And I was like, oh my God. And I had to that's when I started gardening like mad woman. It's like, I'm going to garden a lot, 25 hours, bags of, I went crazy. I couldn't even walk. My kids had to make dinner. I kid you not. I was like, oh, it's 8 p.m. Mom's got to sit on the couch. They're like, are you all right? I'm like, I don't know. But it was like therapy for me. And I wasn't coming in until every weed was pulled. And I just owned that my property is so beautiful and I neglected it for 6 years. I did. I just didn't like, right? So consumed with life, so consumed that I neglected my beautiful, like, property. It's a beautiful piece of property. So, right? I even feel like my heart's fluttering, like, started to take it back. So, why did I share so personally with you? Because I need to take stuff back. Write it down. You cannot fool the body. Oh, I'm fine, I hear people say. I'm like, bullshit. How are you sleeping? I wake up with a racing mind. Bullshit, because the truth comes out between 2 and 3 a.m. You can tell me anything you want. You can tell yourself anything you want. The truth comes out when we get quiet. Does that make sense? It's 9 o'clock. It gets quiet. All of a sudden, it's like, I need cookies. No, you don't. You need to work on whatever the hell it is that's bothering you at 9 p.m. when the world goes quiet. That's how you lose 10 pounds. Intermittent fast properly, okay? And don't spike your blood sugar and do dumb things that cause you not to sleep, that make you wake up tired, that make you cranky, that affects your hormones, and the doctors want to put you on hormone replacement therapy. I'm not saying you don't need it. I always just say, do the basics I teach first. And then do that. Okay. Bye, JJ. But right? Like, let's go. Okay. So with that said, action step, and then I'll open up for hot seats because I do have the time. And apologies if anyone has to go. No problem. Action step. Check in with yourself during the day. Check in. Take action on what's weighing on you. What's weighing on you. Okay. You can't numb it out. You can't. The women who grow are the women who I find their bodies won't pack on the weight. I'm not judging. I'm just saying I've noticed, like, because weight to me is an insulation of emotions. I'll say it. It doesn't just come on from thinking, but what it does do is your cortisol goes high, your insulin goes high, you become a fat storing machine when you become insulin resistant from all the sugar. No judgment, but the wine and the chips and all the things, because you're just not comfortable with taking a look. And I'm not saying it needs to be some big, bawling session. No, you tiptoe in. What's the one little thing bothering you that you can work on? Okay. You don't need to overwhelm with, I need to quit my career. No, don't do that. No, it pays your bills. I need to get a spouse or leave my spouse. No, please don't date or marry the first guy, and don't leave your spouse. Like, we don't need big things. You start small, but you got to start cleaning those up. Okay. And that truly, truly always, I have never slept better. I'm like, oh, all this mulching, all this therapy. It's really cool. And I'm probably friggin' exhausted down to my toes, but makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So the handout, and then we're going to move on. Handout, stabilize blood sugar, dial back your sugar. Number 2. Number 3, magnesium. Number 4, build a real nighttime routine. Number 5, deal what's on your mind. Deal what's on your mind. And I want to make sure for the women who ask questions, I'm just going to say at the 1 hour mark, I can't remember who this was, forgive me, but someone's been craving chocolate. Maybe it was Nancy. Nancy wasn't craving chocolate. I don't know if it was Darlene, but craving chocolate last few days. Is it because I'm not drinking enough water? No. You could be craving chocolate because you're stressed. You could be skipping meals and your blood sugar swinging. I mean, you could drink water. That's an easy one for me, right? Just drink water. If you are thirsty, by the way, it means you're dehydrated. So just make a note on that. You don't wait till you're thirsty to drink. You drink throughout the day. I teach drink 20 ounces of water upon waking up. It just works. I've been doing it for decades. It just works. Up to 20. Okay, up to 20. If you're older, maybe it's too much. But you could check. But if you're thirsty, please know you're dehydrated. And so for the chocolate, no, it could be way more than that. It could be hormones. It could be emotional. It could be you didn't eat enough, blood sugars swinging. The other one is really interesting. I love Nancy. I've known Nancy a long time. And Nancy said, hey, why can't I sleep better? And Nancy is the reason I wrote, please stop blaming yourself at the beginning. Because she said, what am I doing wrong? And I will tell you that Nancy said at the end of it, and no judgment, Nancy, I can't seem to stop using my phone before bed. And I'm like, oh, Nancy read my script. She read my outline. So Nancy, start there, okay? And number 2, Nancy said she wakes up very hungry. So she's been eating protein at night. And no, I don't want you to eat protein at 9 o'clock at night. If you eat before bed, I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier. Here's my bonus for those who stayed. If you eat right before bed, you ain't sleeping. That's the truth. Give yourself 2 hours. So if you wake up very hungry, you're not eating enough during the day. I tell people, eat more during the day. So I was going to say to Nancy, eat more. And you gotta eat carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. Well, I wrote it down somewhere because I wanted to say this to you. Carbohydrates help the brain absorb the amino acid tryptophan. Tryptophan creates serotonin. Serotonin then creates melatonin. There's that melatonin again. It will remind you sugar breaks down melatonin. Eating good carbs, sweet potatoes. You could do quinoa. I don't eat that stuff, but you could. Some brown rice. Rices for me, I find are inflammatory, but you could have that stuff, but good carbs. I'll even, dare God, should I say, sprouted Ezekiel bread, right? Like toast it well, brings the carbohydrate count down. But I need you to eat good carbohydrates. You could eat carbohydrates are also, starchy veggies, cauliflower and broccoli, carbohydrates, higher in carbs. Okay. And so why did I say that? Because I would start with Nancy. She's got to stop with the phone stuff. That's affecting, right? And it isn't one thing like when I first started. And number two, I don't like that she's hungry and that she's eating that stuff. You got to eat more during the day. You got to, and you got to eat stuff that sticks. And so also for Nancy and anyone else, I'll just throw in there, eat more good fat. You need to eat more good fat. Okay, fat satiates. And so women are like, oh, I don't want to get fat. No, no, no. No, fat helps you burn fat. You don't get fat from eating fat. You put on weight, okay, from eating garbage that spikes your blood sugar and makes insulin come out. And insulin says, hey, I'm going to take everything you ate, got to get it out of your bloodstream, I'm going to put it in your friggin' fat cells, right in your belly. And so think that way, okay? All right. This was amazing. I hope you had a wonderful time. Am I supposed to say something? I'm supposed to just say for anyone who's not in the club who asked for the replay, you'll get something special. You want to come, great. I do something special until I open it up to my community June 1st. So I'm not going to spend time on that, but ask me anything. And the one pager I wrote is brilliant. And women who know, God bless you, just come. And there's no weirdness. So with that said, I've got time. I'm happy to open up. You're welcome to either share something you're going to use from today, or Jen, I need help. Can I take a hot seat? And so let's do that. Let's do that quick now. Happy to do it. And if you spoke already, no problem. Speak again. Either something you've learned, or does someone want help around their sleep? I'll pinpoint quick. Anyone? Was it that good? I answered all questions and you're just going to start sleeping? Give me 7 days and say tomorrow. You could, though. You could sleep that fast, but usually not because, you got to put all the pieces together. Anyone want to share something of value?
I love how you talked about magnesium and like broke down what it's really doing because it's important to understand like why we're taking these things, right? So I love that. And also when you're talking about intermittent fasting, because this is a conversation I have with numerous parents actually of my kids' sports teams, because the moms are all tired, too busy, all the things, and so they're like, well, I'll just intermittent fast. I'm like, you mean like not eat, starve yourself, and then have a bag of chips on the way home because you're too tired? And so the way you talked about that was great. And especially, going to the movies, having popcorn, coming home, and then eating a protein meal. Because I think most people, they eat the popcorn and then they're like, you know what, I'll just intermittent fast to get rid of it. And then, comes the binge 2 days later or a day later, or when, there's always repercussion to that. So I thought those were
9
really
p.m. 9 p.m. the binge comes. We're not even waiting.
Totally. Like real life examples
Thank you. I know
of that, and of how you always highlight, like, it's not about quitting everything and feeling like in want. It's about just paying attention to, I could never hear that enough. That's always such a powerful reminder because
say it again. What is the powerful reminder? Remind me.
That it's not about never eating sugar ever again. It's just about being mindful and conscious and, changing. Ultimately, it's all identity upgrade. And I'm not the person that needs to be elbow deep in a bag of chips when I'm stressed out. but I was that for a very long time. And when we make those identity upgrades and stay
Thank you.
conscious, then naturally we just don't want any of that stuff, which was such a hard thing for me to wrap my brain around in the beginning. And really going on those different experiences was powerful. So I could hear that reiterated 8,000 times because
Right.
it's not diet culture, right? It's lifestyle change and choosing to consciously eat the things that, like, I'll never forget when I did that 30-day sugar free experience with you, and I had ice cream with the kids because we were at the lake and it was fun, and the next day I woke up and I felt like everything in the world sucked, and I was so negative, and it brought me back to how I was pre working on this stuff. And I actually just thought I was a negative person and had to work really hard to be positive. But when I was off of it for so long and then I chose to have the ice cream, but actually pay attention to what it did to me, I couldn't believe how negative it made me, like how toxic my brain went having it. And so, I could hear example after example of that repeated forever because it's such an important thing for me to ingrain. So I loved all the reiteration of that, how you're so real, you share, what's going on, because that's just real stuff. So appreciate you sharing all that.
Always. And thank you for just hanging around the community. Kara's in my mindset only community. And I'm just wherever you need to be. I'm so grateful because then you also tell me you always share it with people. So Kara's my pass it honor as another coach. And so God bless you. Yes. And I got no shame. Like I was eating that popcorn and I was clear. It was between the medium and the large. I'm like, you really don't need a large. Although they're not large. The large was the small back in Brooklyn in 1980. So they're all just messing with us. I'm like, that's not a large. That's really a small. But whatever. I got the medium. And I was like, and I didn't even want it all. Because while I was watching Michael Jackson, I decided it didn't taste good anymore. And I want you to know I stayed conscious while eating the popcorn because I was by myself eating a bag. I'm like, this is weird. I'm by myself. First time going to the movies alone in, I don't know, 30 years. So I stayed conscious and I was like, ugh, I had enough of this. And I rolled it up and I put it on the floor. And it's really cool when you stay conscious. You don't even want the shit half the time. And now I'm debating the weekend stuff. Like, oh, do I really want the sugar? So it's really cool. Like Karis, when you stay conscious, and you don't give in to guilt and feeling bad, you learn about yourself. Module 3 of the method, okay, tuning in to yourself. Okay, I love it. Anyone else with a thought or, hot seat, take me up on it. I'll go 10 minutes if we want to, otherwise we'll end. I mean, I'm here for you today. So, question, thought, something you learned, something confusing? Okay. I always get quiet because there's always one person like, want to take up the time. If that's you and you don't want to take up the time, you better get on right now because was the film good? And Nicole is, I'm going to go see it again. I woke up crying. By the way, I cried through the whole film. Since no one's asking me, I cried through the whole Michael Jackson film. I just cried. I was like, well, this is cool. I'm by myself. Hopefully the mascara isn't down here. I cried. And then I came home and I cried more. And I woke up this morning and I cried. But what a beautiful human being this man was and how he was demonized by the media. And just what a beautiful, genuine, hardworking, honest, and has given the most to charities and the number of charities of any celebrity ever. Okay. He was a very generous, humble, kind person. And so, yes. So I just keep crying. I'm just so moved by such a beautiful person. Those who haven't been through menopause and are learning the method are so, oh, thank you for that. That was Angie. Let's go. Listen, I always say it, I will end on this. I made this thing affordable this way, and it's not the same attention, don't get me wrong, that just to be transparent that I had when, right, Kara and others were in. I had other coaches. It was just me. It was more intense. Now it's as a call, it's me and one coach who went through the method 6 years ago, Landon. You'll love her. She got certified in functional medicine. She's a gem, and she actually asked to work for me 3 years ago. And I was like, I don't have anything yet. And I created this. She's incredible. Anyway, so why did I say that? Because God's always in the details, okay? For your life, for my life. God told me to do this. And I said, as long as I can pay my bills and take care of my family, I will keep this club open. Okay. It's not how I used to do things, but it feels aligned the way I was saying, being intentional, it's intentional. So anyway, with that little plug in, I think we're good. I think anyone else would have shared by now. So I'm going to say thank you for your time. You're going to get the replay. Um, yeah, you're going to get the replay. I'll give everyone the handout. And thank you. And I'll see those who, Nicola, I got you. We're good. And for those who are in the club or Rise with Jen, thank you. And keep taking my work and sharing it. That means the world to me. Okay? Because then we're helping other people. And we don't die with the music in us, right? We share the music with others. It's a Michael Jackson thing, but he didn't say that. I did. Okay. Feel good. Oh, Marsha, love you. Love you. Okay. Bye, everyone. Send replay soon. Okay. Bye.